In this presentation, we will enter the bank reconciliation for our personal account for the second month of operations, the month of February, into QuickBooks. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info. Here we are on the home page. We currently have the open windows open. You can open the open windows by going to the view dropdown and selecting the open windows list. We're now going to go to the bank reconciliation item by going to the banking dropdown, and we'll go down to the reconcile banking and then reconcile. Then we have our reconciling item. We're on February 29th. That looks correct. Our beginning balance should be right as well, 9630. Let's check out our bank statement and see if that is indeed the case. 9630 looks good. So our beginning balance is there. We might even check it off and say that's there. Here's our additions, here's our subtractions, here's the ending balance once done. Here's the detail of the additions, and here's the detail of the subtractions. And that should give us, of course, the ending balance once we check off all those details, which will be the process of the bank reconciliation. We'll put in the ending balance now, 20172, 20172, 20172. All right. And there's going to be our ending balance. We're not going to enter any service charges or interest here because I would prefer to do that directly in the check register. I think it's a little bit easier to see the process to do it that way. Therefore, that's how we will do it. So at least that's how I'll do it. So then we're going to go continue and yes. So now we have the checks on the left, or the outflows on the left. On the right, we have the deposits. If we go back over here, we're going to just tick and tie everything out, and remember that we did this on kind of a cash basis, entering this directly into the bank statement. So it should tie out exactly. If we did all of our data input, then it should be exact, and we could just try to check the whole thing off. We could go back over here and say, well, if I did it all well, perfectly, then I could just say mark all, and this balance should go down to 0. Let's give it a shot. Doesn't go down to 0. It's at 550. Let's see if we could figure out why. If we go back over and say, well, it looks like it's the withdrawals and the bank service charge for the 100 plus the 150, 550. So note that will allow us to do a quick check, meaning if we just enter this straight from the bank statement, we should still reconcile, but the reconciliation can be as easy as just basically checking off the entire thing. If there is a problem, we should go back in there and find it. Should be easy to find given the fact that everything that's in our QuickBooks system was taken directly from this statement. So, for example, just to check a few of them, we've got the 3,000, the 25, the 953. That's the 3,000, the 25, the 9537. We've got the 130, the 103, the 60, 130, 103, the 60. So just note we're good as long as we add those last couple items. Also note that this is, of course, a simplified bank reconciliation because under a normal system, we wouldn't be entering directly from the bank statement. That's a cash-based system. We would be doing our own records separate from the bank. So just the reason it's simplified is because it's going to be, we're on, in essence, a cash-based system dependent on the banking records on the bank statement rather than checking it with that. And therefore, there's no outstanding checks or outstanding deposits. We're going to record here. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to go to the banking and use register, and we're going to add these last couple items from the bank statement. So there's a withdrawal and there's bank service charges. So let's go back over here, and the withdrawal will say on the 28th or 29th, close enough. I'm going to say other for the number, and I'm just going to call it a withdrawal. Do we need to put a withdrawal? We don't even need to really put a withdrawal there. I'm going to put the amount then, 400. 400. And we don't really know where it went to because it was cash. And that's the problem with cash. We don't, unless we can remember what we spent the cash on or kept the receipts, then it's difficult to enter in the system. And keep that in mind as we go. If you're spending money with cash, then of course that's the issue we have in entering it into the QuickBooks system. If we need some way to track it if we're paying stuff with cash. If we pay stuff with any other way, then that's easy to track. That's one reason to do it. And one reason not to use something, a credit card and whatnot, is maybe if you don't want to track it, I don't know. But in this case, we got cash that got pulled out, and we don't know exactly what it was spent on. So unless we have some way to track it, I'm just going to put it into miscellaneous. And that's going to be kind of like the petty cash that we took out and we spent on whatever we spent it on. So, and that's that. And then we've got the last one, which is going to be the bank service charges. So bank service charges, I'm going to again say other for the check number. And that was for $150. And then we have an account called bank service charges. So I'm just going to type in bank and it'll find it for us tab. Those are the two items, all we need to do to reconcile. Let's go back to the reconciliation in the open windows. And then we should be able to just find those two, that the only two that aren't checked off so far, and we'll now check them off. Once I check that last one off, we'll be down to 0, meaning we are indeed reconciled and in balance, and therefore can then hit this blue button, reconcile now. Reconcile now will give us our two reports. We're going to take a look at both by displaying them. And note that they're just telling us that we have checked everything off and everything has been entered directly from the bank statement and it looks good. We don't remember the bank reconciliation isn't going to show outstanding checks, outstanding deposits as most bank reconciliations would if we had two separate sets of books, two separate sets of records, which we are reconciling, which we don't here. We're on a cash basis taking our information directly from the bank statement. But it still verifies that we entered everything in well and the bank reconciliation therefore is very worth doing. Here's the detailed reconciliation, which in essence will just be exactly what's on the bank statement because again there's nothing outstanding, so there's nothing on this reconciliation that's really a reconciliation because the two things are exactly the same. There's no reconciling items. But again, it's useful to know just that this reconciliation says that we entered the data in properly, gives us that second check. So we'll close that out, and that is the bank reconciliation for the second month, the month of February. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info.